All right, all right. We're back. Episode 7. Here we are. Been a couple weeks. Last episode recap. Got in with Jay Frey. This week we have the Wild Man and I. This is right after the tournament. So just got done with the Atlantic City Open. Or Mid Atlantic Open, sorry, in Atlantic City.
Same thing.
So, yeah, same thing. But yeah, we're here.
Yes, sir.
We're
It's
here,
been a
brother.
couple weeks, so I guess backing up, we haven't been on since we had the layout practice for the Atlantic City Open, which I thought was a really productive practice. It was awesome to have you down for the first time for a layout practice like that. So you got some more content from that weekend and stuff. But just hanging out with the boys is a great opportunity for all together. The more together, the better it is. So So I was excited about that. And we just practiced the Tauntauns. Normally we do 3 total teams. This time we only did 1. But I was excited to play them because they're a pretty aggressive team. This was a slightly more defensive layout, barring if you're hitting your shots on the break or not. So I was excited to play a team that I thought would be aggressive, that have a pretty strong middle presence, and then have some of the best gunfighters in the world with Axel and the like. So I thought it would be good practice, and it was. I mean, I honestly think we've been continuing every practice we've had as a team. We've gotten better and better. You'll have small setbacks in practices and stuff. It's just about bouncing back from them. So you want to limit the negative runs you go on.
Yep.
And take advantage of all the positive ones because momentum is a real thing. So mostly we were on a positive track. We played a lot of matches, did really well in all the matches. Had a downfall here or there, but nothing bad. Everything in a good direction for our team. So field layout aside, I was really excited for this event because I thought our growth in communication, our growth in learning each other's body language, and our trust in each other in the field has been in a positive incline. So I was excited to have another opportunity to test that. And obviously Tampa was a disappointment for us. We'll get into that after, but I think it's just going to say the world about the team, how we can bounce back from that, because we're 2 points away from being a 4-0 team, and we're 1 point away from being a 1-3 team. That's how razor thin these margins are now. So you can't afford to go out and have a 15 minutes of poor play or bad decisions. One decision in 15 minutes can really like spin out your whole tournament. So learning from those, learning how to mitigate those, but not looking at it as a huge regression, I think is going to be big. Sometimes we prepare 40 hours on a field layout just to have these 15-minute opportunities. And if you don't take advantage of those opportunities, it's a real shame. You have to give it your all. You don't always have to win, but you have to limit mistakes and really just perform at your best in those 15 minutes, or else it makes the rest of the time pointless to a degree. You have to have that short-term memory and bounce back from it. But it's like, after we're done with a field layout, we'll never play on that field layout again. So those particular things and stuff are out the window. So you have to take advantage of the maybe an hour and a half total in a tournament if you go through Sunday that you're going to be on the field. Every second of that.
And now it's kind of what you chimed on, and I said it at one point. I think I said it at one point on Saturday. And I said it even on Friday. I said Sunday starts now. Every game is like it's a Sunday match. There's no scrubbing. There's no teams that are really a wash anymore. Like, everyone is showing up. So it's every game is like it's a Sunday, and that's just you gotta play it like it's first match on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's like, to your point in that, like, we lost to Arsenal in that overtime game, our first match of the day. So now, it really, every match from then on out was Sunday. And you can say, you'd rather lose the first than the last, and all that's true, but you still have to now have no slip ups the rest of the way. And it really bothered me even going into our second game. I was against New York Extreme. All the other pros are talking. They're like, "Oh, tough game. Who do you got next?" You tell them, and they're like, "Oh, at least you'll get that an easy one." I'm like, "No, it's not going to be easy." First of all, they just played Chicago Aftershock, who was always a threat. Like, they just have enough talent to always be a threat.
Yeah.
They play with that aggressive style. They can come back and bite someone at any time. And,
Mhm.
New York gave them a really close game, and they did it by shooting people off the break.
Yeah.
They're still inexperienced and don't have a lot of teamwork. But on this field, especially, if you got that body advantage on the right side or two bodies advantage sometimes, I mean, your odds of winning that point just exponentially increased. So I was watching them beat Shock like that, and I'm like, and in my mind, like, you having everyone say that, and like, yeah, you'd love to think that, but it's not true anymore, right? Every game you have to not make any mistakes, and yet we ended up, having a really close game with New York Extreme going into overtime with that one too.
Overtime, yeah.
And it was at the backs of them, shooting well off the break. There was times they were shooting both our short guys, and we're playing 3-on-5s. And when you're only going to play 5-6 points in a game, you do that 3-4 times. Now you're in a like a back and forth match with someone that you didn't want to be in, and everyone else would have just looked past. So you can't look past anyone ever now, because the difference between winning and losing is razor thin. So then, having an overtime game against them, who are the lowest ranked team in your bracket, you have to pad your stats against teams like that, unfortunately, because like I said, they have the opportunity to be in any game, but a team like that also has the opportunity to get blown out in any game, right? So if you're not the one doing it, the chances in 4 games someone else will do it is pretty high, right? And if they're getting a 5-point margin against you, against just that one common opponent, man, that's a hard hill to battle out of if you're going to be, even record at the end of Saturday. And if you're even record, it comes down to those margins. So you can't afford to lose any of that. So it's like these 4 prelim games can, depending on the bracket you're in, it can be, you only have an opportunity to lose one. So you better win and put yourself in a position to dictate the rest, so you can decide how you want to play the 4th game, because you're already in, you're already dictating that. And that's how, we've kept that streak of Sunday appearances, I think the longest in the league, alive, is because, we always, usually came out strong and did what we needed to do to, try new things against some of our harder teams and have more opportunities. And this tournament we didn't. We came out behind the 8 ball with a loss to the team that eventually did go 4-0 in our bracket. So they were obviously playing well, but we had a lot of missed opportunities in that game. Some bad luck, like HK got a video of, a bounce shot coming off of Little Dorito off the ground and smoking me in the face. Like, those things don't always happen. And that could be the difference of 1 point. We lose that side. Now, if they made it wide on that side, they're wrapping, they're containing this field. You could easily hold the snake side up. Like, that's the difference of points. So it's like, you can't let that first loss, even though it puts you behind the 8 ball, you can't let it, affect your emotions, because those have to stay stable. You have to keep the belief that you're doing the right things and that it'll work out. You start changing too many things or moving too many pieces around or questioning how you were playing the field or whatever the fact may be, that just, lowers your chances of again and again. And I was proud of our team for not doing that. We went into Saturday having to play Shock and Dynasty, knowing our margin wasn't good enough, that we needed to win, both of those games to be for sure on, and came out against Shock, got a pretty commanding lead. They're a scrappy team. They fought back a little, but we put ourselves in a position to, limit our risk, then drain time, win that game the way we wanted to win that game. It didn't matter if we won by 1 or a lot at that point in time, because our like-minded opponents and all that, like, we knew we were going to need to win both. And, we gave ourselves a chance in that Dynasty game. It was more back and forth. They took the lead right away, and then, it was back and forth. No one ever really up, but just getting that first point, getting that first lead, and always making the other team claw back and knowing they need to, is a big advantage when you have two, skilled teams, like experienced teams playing each other. And, that came down to, we go into overtime. We play almost the whole way through overtime. On the field, we think it's a 3-on-3. It really was a 3-on-2. We could have played that out differently with probably a minute left and had that win pretty much secured. If we don't make mistakes and we know the actual information on the field, we win that game, 90 times out of 100. That didn't happen. we still made moves at what we thought was going to be enough time, to give us a chance to win, but not lose.
Yep.
And, Ryan made a really good play. Got a little bit lucky, Cody's gun didn't, he broke a ball right before, so his gun didn't shoot when he would have traded. That changes the whole outcome. We're low on paint there. He runs. Mishka has him for, 20, 30 feet, misses him before even any of that happens. Like, I thought I shot Ryan, and then I saw him like retreat back. Thought he was like possibly dead, looking for him and then I, went right into the trap he set. So, it's just a couple individual mistakes and to lose overtime instead of going on to one-on-ones by probably making those decisions 3 seconds too fast with the information that we had and about 45 seconds too slow with the information that we should have had. And that's the difference of being 3-1, feeling really good about how you're playing and going to Sunday knowing that you can prove yourself. I mean, it comes down to one decision, a few seconds, and that's hard to take, but you have to really learn what's the cause of that and what wasn't, right? You got to keep doing the right things, and you have to fix the mistakes. However, you have to beat those into. You have to figure out what you could have done differently to get more information, to have more, to make a better decision. But you also can't forget about all the good things too, because you're making progress as a team and trusting people. And going into the year, there's going to be growing pains when you're changing, 40 to 50% of a team, but our growing pains still aren't internal. Like we are closer than we ever have been. We are gaining more and more trust in each other through the ups and downs, and we're just going to keep working until we're scary again.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, we're showing up. Everyone on this team that we got right now shows up, takes responsibility, wants to learn, wants to grow. We're going to have these. I mean, any team, you're going to have these moments when you build. We have 9 players, 5 of them are new. Or is it 4?
4.
4 of them are new. That's a lot of people to start building the flow with and getting everything, super smooth. I mean,
but with that said, like that hasn't been the issue yet. So those are the things I'm really happy about,
No, for sure. But I mean,
that part is meshed well. So it's just maybe some of that gives you less time to work on some of the intricacies, but I thought we've been doing a really good job of that. Now it's just about making the right decisions with the information that we have and getting our brains moving a little faster as a one unit type of thing on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, it's just, sure. It'd have been lights out to show up and second tournament as a team, pretty new new built team. Everybody just take it home. I mean, that's the goal, right? That's why we show up every tournament. But I'm just the fact that like we're showing up the way we are now, we sit back as a team and we can ask each other. I heard y'all ask, why didn't you do this instead? Why did you stop there instead of going there? Like, why didn't you keep going? We have a team now where we can have that conversation. In the past, not a conversation you were having because people would get offended and get like very defensive. And now it's like, yo, why didn't you do that? And the person's like, yeah, you're right. I should have. Guess what? That mistake wasn't made after that. Like,
I think our meetings are super productive now.
Dude, it's like, it's not just showing up for a huddle. It's like showing up to like, we're going to fix this and we're going to go execute it. Right. And I think that's what amplifies me more than anything. And, I mean, I know it's, we got knocked out Saturday, and I mean, oh, dude, it kills me, but it kills me because I know how hard y'all are working, and I just want to I want y'all to see the fruits of your labor, right? Like I want y'all to be able to be there. I was actually like after that point, I was beside myself. I had to sit down. I squatted and I was in the pits and I was like physically shaking. Like
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
like,
most of
I'm
us,
like,
like on the car rides home, like not a word was spoken, not because you're mad at each other, just because you're disappointed in yourself for not being able to help more, for being in this situation. It's like it was, real good time for self-reflection,
oh yeah,
And
yeah,
everyone needs that time.
100%. Mm, you know,
But to your point too, though, it's like, yeah, we are working hard, but hard work only goes so far. You also have to do the right things at the right times in the right
yeah,
moments, and it
you
all
do.
comes down to these little moments. So it's like we're working hard, but that's kind of the price of admission.
Yeah,
The ideal situation at a tournament is you have 20 teams that are working hard and only one team's ever going to win. So you
that's
got
right.
to, figure out a way outside of just working hard, how to separate yourselves, whether that's how you choose to dictate the game or a new little, niche that you can bring to it, or a
Yeah,
new way to approach it, or a new way to exploit weaknesses. It's without that, the hard work,
yeah,
is kind of a moot point, because you really do have to, work hard at the things that are your biggest misgivings, but also work hard at finding and exploiting other teams' weaknesses, and not like individual people or anything like that. But it could be a weakness in a game plan. It could be, a weakness in tendencies that someone has on a certain field layout. But you have
mm,
to really have a more innate knowledge of a lot more moving pieces than you ever used to. And that's because, the league has become a lot more competitive, and in that you have to find new small ways to gain, a percent, a half a percent.
yeah. I mean, you're. It's just I think we're on the right track, and I agree with you. But we're getting there. This is. I was honestly expecting a lot more like trials and tribulations this year, having that many new people come into a team. But I've been really happy, and I think we're getting there, and it's going
Yeah.
to happen you know before too long.
Yeah.
It was there, like it was it was there, man. It was there.
Yeah. And I know it was probably common for people to also, kind of think there'd be more trials and tribulations, and like it's easy to look back and say that. But honestly, if I'm going to be honest with myself, like this is as bad as I could think it was going to be, is like missing a cut, because I knew, the quality of leadership and players that we still have in the locker room, and the kind of leadership that they can do to help new players and be welcoming. And I know the talent of our upper management and our coaching to, incorporate guys that wanted to be a part of that. And I knew that
Yeah,
that would mesh well. So like, I really thought the learning curve to becoming a team that should be on a steady rise, as opposed to an up and down performer, should have
yeah,
been, you know
yeah.
like I still have complete faith in that. But I'm saying, like, that's the kind of expectations I put on myself. Maybe start at one point, but always steadily increase. So
Yeah.
any step back there, like, I'm gonna look internally a lot more and figure out what we can do to make sure that those don't happen again, so that there's small bumps in the road, but those lead to pretty big leaps at the same time.
Well, that's the thing is like I'm a firm believer everyone needs to get hit in the mouth every once in a while. Reason being
For sure.
because getting knocked down isn't what makes you. What makes you who you are is how you get back up, right?
And for every
Like
person, that could need to be a different way, right?
it can.
Like, some people have to be so hard on themselves after that, and like really like beat themselves up the mistake they make, and other people kind of have to like let that side go and get back with like almost a cockiness, or else they lose that edge. So it's like every person needs to figure out their own way to get back, but at the same time you need to get back at the same time as every other person on your team. So
You
it
do.
is kind of an intricate working,
Hmm.
puzzle piece.
I'd agree with that. And but that's the point of having a good team.
Yeah.
Having everyone there to help pick you up, know how
And
to pick you up.
knowing what
And
individuals need, and
yeah,
people caring enough to give you what you need at the same time.
and that's part of having a good team.
Yeah.
So I think, I think, as much as I mean, I saw it in your eyes, every single one of y'all's eyes. A lot of y'all said sorry to me, and I know y'all mean that genuinely, but don't be sorry. Let's go do it better. Like,
No, and
it's
the
go
sorry
ahead.
gets misconstrued a lot because it's like
Yeah,
everyone wants to say that, but like my sorry doesn't mean like super. It's more of like an apologetic, like, hey, I know that I needed to be better. I'm sorry I didn't, play to my
and I know.
expectations, and I'm going to work to improve that. It's
Yeah,
short term when you're broken up and you can't have a eloquent conversation with someone. It's
right.
like the most deep felt that you can give at that time,
I know.
sometimes. So it's not that it's
Yeah,
like I let you down, and sometimes it is, but it's not saying like, oh, I let you down, sorry, we'll just move past this and we'll repeat it. No, it's like saying I understand where I could have been better, even if I
yeah,
wasn't at fault. Like I understand where I could have been better, and I was a part of, just like every person is a part of that final decision, that on-field decision, which is even like a tighter,
yeah,
closer group of that. So it's like if I'm there and I was given the trust to pull something out, to make something happen, to get a win. And I don't just have my teammates on the fields, responsibility and weight, but the teammates in the pits, our pit crew, our friends, our family, our fans. And that's a good pressure. But I'm saying it's like if I accept that pressure to go on and I do not perform up to the expectations that I was given that task to do, which is all it is. It's like I'm put on the field to win. If I don't win, I underperformed, no matter
yeah,
how else it breaks down, right?
yeah,
So my sorry is more of a acknowledgement of the fact that I'm not okay with this. I understand
yeah,
the issue and we'll look at how to fix it. And it's
yeah.
a lot of times people look at it as sorry as like just the excuse, but it's not an excuse. It's an
Mm-mm.
acknowledgement in my eyes.
And yeah,
It's an acknowledgement, and it's kind of being able to take a little of the onus on yourself visibly and not just expectedly, right? Like
yeah,
everyone like knows that could be an understanding, but without saying something and voicing it, you're not really taking that on and letting other people say like, hey, some of this blame is this, and I'm going to fix it.
yeah,
Maybe don't say all those words, but that's how I mean it when I say it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I hate it when
And-
people say, don't say sorry, fix it. But it's like, I'm going to work on fixing it. That's
oh yeah, no,
bar
no,
none.
no.
But the
Yeah,
sorry is there to say, like, I'm
I know.
acknowledging that it's messed up.
I know. And and I know that, but I just don't want I don't ever want any of y'all to feel like you let me down. You
And
because no one ever
appreciate
lets me
that.
down.
I
No one
appreciate that.
ever, yeah, and
The
I
sorry is
never.
more of a saying that, like,
I know.
I'm sorry I let myself down in front of you. And I say it to my teammates on the field.
I know.
I say it to Sarge as an owner. I say it to coaching. I say it to pit staff. It has nothing to do with the accountability to any one of those people. It has accountability to the situation. And so that's how I say it. So it's not like I let you down, but it's like, hey, I'm sorry I let me down the way I'd want to, show myself to all of you.
And yeah, and I get that. And I never take a sorry as an excuse. But you know me, I'm always if it's behind me, it's behind me
For
kind of
sure.
person. I'm always go forth and conquer. So that's just kind of and I know y'all are the same way, but I know y'all also have your process, and you have to cycle through it, and you got to do your thing, and I get it. But it's like I just don't ever want y'all to feel sorry, like you owe me anything.
Can't always control your emotions,
Yeah,
all your effort puts you in a situation, and then the way the
yeah,
situation plays out controls your emotions.
yeah, for sure.
And unless you're hiding them, they're going to come out the way they come out. So it's
I know,
like,
and I know it's always genuine. I
yeah.
know it's always very genuine. So, But I always like seeing y'all
Happy
smile.
faces for
I
sure.
love seeing you
For
smile.
sure.
That's it. But enough of that. We did we ended up with some rowdy times that evening though. We
We did,
we rallied back. We went out and had a really nice dinner together as a team. Go ahead.
Nice dinner, a little gambling. Saw somebody win like $1,200 on a $40 investment in bubble craps, which was pretty fun. Like you've seen craps tables get pretty energetic, but this bubble craps table was probably surrounded by more and had more fun going on than I've ever seen at a craps table.
It had 30 or 40 people around this thing.
Yeah,
and we're gonna leave a name out. A buddy that we bumped into the casino, just so happens, right? We bump into him, and he's kind of instigating. He's instigating this, winding them up, and they were taking this other people that we didn't know. They were taking their shoe off, smacking the button, but bah!
Like, the one dude would clear like a 40-foot path and fake ice skate up.
Yeah, he was ice skating up, and slapped the button. There was the gargoyle. Then they had Buddy. They're like, stranger shoe. So Buddy took his shoe off and was giving them the juice, and he was getting into it.
Oh yeah.
He was getting into it. No, that was
most of the 40 people got into it. And then, the night just became more fun. We just were enjoying each other's times, having some drinks, brainstorming some things. I think we came up for some cool future ideas for this show. We'll share with you once we iron out some details.
Yeah, because I can't say I went to old man bedtime, but because I went to bed at like 2:30.
Old man bedtime.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I'm an early to bed guy now that I'm a dad. But
dude, I love it because I get to wake up in the best part of the day.
Normally,
first thing in the morning.
That Sunday, sometimes you could be like, man, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe if I can miss part of it, it's not that bad.
Right. This is true. But we went over, we bumped into Yaya. Saw him at a poker table. He was playing with Dan
Bilzerian, yeah.
Bilzerian. Yeah, there you go. They were over there.
Congratulations to them again. They won their D5 tournament with Protocol.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations. Good for them. Yeah, I got him a coaching medal. That's right. He was coaching them. So I got a coaching medal.
Yeah, always knew I'd teach that kid something, He finally watched us draw enough plays now. He's
but
he's a great coach.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it was pretty rowdy night. I'm trying to think of what else was going on. What else happened as far as I think that was just some people
crazy. We just had a good time, and some of the people changed their flights to get home this time and stuff. And normally I like everyone to stay together after a tournament and stuff, but everyone is a little bit different situation. So it's like most of us woke up and watched the games together or apart, watched them all, and that was a pretty intense Sunday. I think there were some upsets early, and the weather was a lot different from the rest of the week. But
not good.
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But man, I would have done anything to be playing in it. So you're still jealous when you're in it. You're like, oh, this sucks. But when you're not in it, it sucks worse. So watching that, it was heartbreaking. Seeing Axel almost pull that game out with Fit, because Fit really had the chance to close it out on those last 2 points against them. I thought up bodies with the time to do it, and it just didn't work out for them. And then Axel almost pulled that back. I mean, if he doesn't slip, I think those little legs were moving faster than I've ever seen them move. But like Speedy Gonzalez or something. There's just a cloud of mud spinning, and the fall right before that, and just miss that, and know you missed that win by a step, and not a step because of the time, and just a step because you missed the step. And You know, I was happy they put him in for the one-on-one. I like seeing him get the chance for that redemption, you know, and being stoked up. And, you know, it's doubly disheartening for him to, you know, end up losing in that fashion too. But, you know, he's a hell of a player, and I know he's going to come back stronger. And, you know, and anytime, you know, I thought he played a great tournament, you know, started off maybe a little slower than you'd normally see him, but like, you know, just kept getting better throughout the tournament. And man, it's like if he's playing that good on a field that, you know, is a slow snake side that can stop something, when there's an easy snake side to get in, you know, he's going to be ready to make up for that. So, you know, it's always fun watching how the stories unfold, you know, seeing Fit win 3 in a row is pretty incredible for any team, let alone a fairly new team. You know, they've gained that confidence. They've gained that swagger at such a quick speed, and you know, they're here to stay. So I'm excited to be playing in their bracket next event. Excited to have new teams in general. You know, our bracket from this last event was only Aftershock, and Ironman switched out. So it's like all the teams already knew what they were getting into with the teams, their play style, their attitudes. You're not really shocking anyone anymore. No one has to. Everyone kind of knows your speed and your pacing, and so it's like I'm excited to get in a whole new bracket with whole new challenges and whole new opportunities as well.
Right. No, it's speaking of bracket. So we got, let's talk about that and drop that. If anybody hasn't looked at that, let me see. I do have it. Give me a moment. It is right here.
It's Fit.
So we got
Uprising.
Fit up. Huh?
Oh, I said go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, Fit, Uprising, and Infamous Leverage.
That's correct.
So, yep, that is our bracket in bracket A.
And there's no easy brackets anymore, you know. So
no. Like Leverage this time, they came in getting scrappy. Like Leverage even showed up a little harder than they did last time. So I mean, it's possible for anybody to
in 15
lay
minutes
hands on you
on a unique field layout. It's more than possible to get hands laid.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody can come hit you in the mouth in this day and age now. So, which isn't a bad thing. But I will say, and this is just my opinion, and I know he's doing the best he can. I'm not beating him down. I do miss having a little less obscured middle. Like there's just so much crap in the middle now. And it's like, and I get it, like, but also there part of me is like, oh, well, y'all want to speed points up. Well, the more stuff you put out there, the more places that are going to cover a lane, give people a place to hide. And it's like, it's kind of like, isn't this what you're going against? Like it's, and like I said, I'm not trying to beat it down, but I do like something where it's, it's just not as filled up.
I agree with you to an extent, but I mean, I don't think they filled things up and the game changed. I think the game changed. No, I'm just saying, I think the game changed, so they had to keep filling it up. People are such better shots off the break than they used to be. Like now it's hard making, one bunker out, like what we call the 2 and the 4 from the back center, which is sometimes 2 steps and a dive.
Yeah.
Those are sometimes coin flips now, right? Running, shooting to them are usually coin flips. Diving in, depending on who you're playing against and if they've practiced it enough, a little more successful. But that's how narrow the margin is, how good people are shooting off the break consistently across the board. When the fields were more open, like, man, I remember you used to have to run through like a 50-foot open gap.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a 50-foot open gap now, you'd never make it, ever. You would have to have 2 guns go down. The only 2 guns that were shooting at you go down off the break to make it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And to me, I don't want to speed up the game by neutering the game and diluting it down to just like a 3-on-3 or 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. I just don't think that takes away from the team aspect of it. Like the same reasons I was against going from like longer games to, a shorter game. And I know it has to happen in like the event schedule that we have with the timeframes that are in place and things like that. But like as far as sports go, like I prefer like a longer game that, there's more ebbs and flows. And same thing in a point, like I don't want it to be a 2-on-2 and it to be like watching the Globetrotters. You want it to watch the best of the best doing, because the more you dilute it down, the less teamwork there has to be. One individual move wins those, right?
Yeah.
So if every 5-on-5 turns into a 3-on-3, now you're taking away almost all the teamwork and communication. It helps some, but it's like maybe 20% of the puzzle instead of 70.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking away like the aspects of sports that I enjoy, is the team aspect, the everyone fails and succeeds at the same time aspect, and making a team equate like, it's the same as having like a tennis team. That's a partner, or having two people. That's not like a team. It's easy to make those dynamics work.
Mm-hmm.
And that pushes more people out of the sport too, in my opinion. So like, I think there is a happy medium though. It's, limit the amount of pods, because if we go to 4 pods, like, I'll hear that.
No, go
I'll
ahead.
preach about my 4 pods again, because I always have. And I
yeah,
feel it's crazy that we don't. And they want to compare Europe to here, but like, different fights make different styles for one thing. But what it does is it makes a field like this one in Atlantic City, which was a great field to play on. It was really fun. Ton of bounce shots, a lot of lanes, but small gaps that you could fight your way through. But that field layout almost dictated that you carried between, like as a front player, I was carrying 8 pods some points. So you're carrying between 8 and 12 pods, right?
Yeah.
And now you're just hammering. That whole field layout completely changes the way it plays with 4 pods. But the majority of the points, like 4 pods is more than enough to be effective for a few minutes. And over time, that will speed up the game and make it more interesting and
get more points out of it.
And even if it doesn't get you more points, it makes all that action more focused, right?
Yeah.
Because the paint you're using is more for battles instead of bounce shots.
Instead of
holding a lane and not having any interesting to show for that 3 minutes, you're showing people battling and moving and readjusting and talking, and you're showing more things. So it's like, even if it didn't change the pacing of the game, I think it would change the entertainment within the time.
It would 100%.
So,
like, I mean, it's not entertaining to watch someone stand there, pump 2, 3, or 4 lanes, and just do this the whole time. Go here, and then that's all it is. And it's like,
it's part of the reason that the league started becoming more competitive too. Originally, was that it allowed more people to do jobs, and if they could be a good role player, they could last in the league. Where it was less,
when it makes you choose, okay, when do I need to pump this lane?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my teammate's gonna move, I'm gonna pump that lane and hold it. Like,
it's not just shooting constantly through a gap, it's picking your pacing of the shots,
brings up the communication level,
keeping it intermittent, talking a lot more, it opens a lot of airwaves. So it's like, I'd see a lot of like benefits outside of the super obvious ones.
So to your set, you were saying you don't want to play with less, so hear me out.
Less people. I could play with a few less bunkers, and they could be organized differently, different shapes.
Sorry, yes, I mean less people.
Less people, yeah. And also make snake beams bigger.
We're going
again.
Yes, let's get those ESPN hot dogs they brought in last year. Them big old sausage things.
I mean, they don't need to be quite that big, but like,
I'm okay with
the old size snake beams. People would be real pumped about again. Now you're seeing people crawl faster, not dragging their legs, engaging in a lot more tape to tape battles, not being stopped at a snake 1 and a snake 2 because a tower is 20 feet inset and anyone standing in it can see over the beam and drop it in because you're trying to go around a cake and you can't get low enough. So even when we have like these long ladder snakes, they're less productive than people think, because you can get held up by people that you can't like wrap around
easily
battle sometimes, right? If you put anyone with any height in and they're skimming the beam, that's hitting 2 inches up around where you're having to you can't get around it if people just choose to shoot those 12 pods through it. So the snake beam's a little bigger, you get people a little less paint, so they're shooting at what they're seeing, they're moving more. Now we're cooking.
All right, we're doing it. We're getting J-Tro on here. We're gonna bring him in. We're gonna have some reminiscing, and we're gonna talk to him about future paintball, because I got an idea too. All right,
I do want to hear. Yep,
we do. We go to 4 pods. Okay, let Jason keep all of his bunkers. You can have everything, and let's go 7-man.
Yeah, I just want like no, I would love 7-man X-ball,
Dude, wouldn't that
but
be
I
sick
want it to
though?
be on a field that's 50 feet longer and 25 feet wider, something like that. And then I'm in.
We can't get everything, so I'm gonna take 7-man with what we got in 4 pods.
Oh, I thought we were just we're just making a wish list.
Oh, hey Jason, we're adding it to the wish list. J-Tro, we're gonna just send it over your way. No, I would
Jason's gonna
love
be
to
like,
see.
I don't decide these things. He's like, why are you
Yes,
yelling
you
at
do.
me?
Yes, you do. You were deciding these things now. We were gonna put it in your ear. Because Tom's already bought up with the other shows.
Yes.
So we gotta get Jason in here. We gotta get him on our side. We gotta give the big dog a voice. No, but we can wish it all to death. I don't know if we'll change any kind of format really in the future. If it is, I'm afraid it's just going to be exposition.
They're always going to keep trying to make changes. I mean, for as long as I played paintball, this is my 23rd year playing pro. Like, change is the only constant. So it's not a matter of if they're going to make changes. It's how incremental are they?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
when the big ones happen. So it's like changes will happen in both directions, good and bad.
Yeah,
and that's because it's not perfect yet. It's fun.
Yeah.
Not perfect.
Yeah. Got to play a point with you in Houston. That was fun. It was fun. First time getting to step on the field with you.
Yeah, you're cruising around. We'll get you out there somewhere.
I wasn't cruising. I was clunking
You made a
around
couple bumps. You made a couple bumps.
Shot an old lady's window.
You did shoot a little high on the brake, but
dude, I didn't mean to. I dropped
feet.
down and I was like trying to not bounce the top of that nipple, and I was like, wow. I reined it in quick though. I reined it in.
The video was pretty funny though.
It was hilarious. Yeah, I was like, no. But
well, you didn't have your equipment, you were just doing all new stuff.
Dude, it got rowdy. That's all it can
always
be.
does.
Oh man, that was good.
Oh, you did say, I guess I'd like to hear you talk a little bit more about between the practice, or mostly at the practice, was the first time you really been on the field to listen to points because you were filming on the field, and you were saying about how different that was. So I just wanted to hear your perspective on, even just being one net away, standing and watching versus being right in the action.
So it was really cool because, I've been on my whole time with Heat. I've been on the other side of the net. It's so wild. The sound signature of everything that's going on, your voices, everything, just everything in general, your sound. And it's different when you're playing, right? Because you're focusing on what's being said, what's going on. But then like when you're not playing and you get to step to the side and I'm getting content, I'm filming stuff, your voices, not having that net there, your voices were just like incredibly clear. Like it wasn't hard to hear what was being said from across, or as hard, it's still, you got to get vocal. And that's
but you can
job.
like almost fully focus on that as opposed to all the external things.
Yeah.
So it's like you really soak it in more.
Yeah. And it was just a really cool thing to be like, not playing paintball, hearing y'all talk, being on that side of the net.
Probably get to hear some of like the funnier conversations that happen too, because like you hear just the yelling and the positions and stuff when you're kind of far away, but like the little couple words here and there, people just like joking around back and forth while you're playing is like probably one of my favorite things in communication.
Jackson Frey, it's clobbering time. It's like you just hear those little things that that make the characters on the field, and it's something that I was really just
I'm always calling people babe, I got you, babe.
Yeah. Babe is definitely
puts people at rest though, it's like, oh, he's calm. It's chill, nothing to worry about.
He's calm, I'm good. Like, so no, that was really cool getting to.
Sam might be my favorite person to listen to.
Oh, Sam is a ride. I don't know what's gonna come out of his mouth though.
Could be anything.
Anything.
In any tone. And then in any tone. It could be happy or mad.
Yeah.
Literally anything.
You just don't know what you're getting. Roll a dice, and that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Sam, let's kind of hit on Sam real quick. That point, what was that? Was New York? Yeah, that was New York. Or NYX when we were playing them at Mid Atlantic. He went over. Sam made sure we got that buzzer.
Oh yeah.
Sam went sailing, and for some reason, the NXL decided we don't want crash pads anymore. So thanks for that.
We used to. Well, no, I'm good with what it is. I'd way rather land on the ground.
I need Sammy some crash pads. Okay, I was worried. I was scared for him. Okay?
Listen, before they had the buttons on the actual starting box, they used to be on these metal tripods of welded steel. They're not that anymore, so I don't mind hitting the ground a little bit.
Okay, well, thank y'all for taking away the crash pads. I'll say it. It's fine. I was having a damn heart attack. Andy was freaking out. Sam went and dove, smacked the buzzer, and all I saw him was like rolled up. I was like, Sam's hurt. I was like, I thought.
Yeah, I checked on him too because I was right there, and I was like, oh, eyeball over.
And his mask came off. That's why the refs came up and got around him, and point was over at that point in time.
As soon as he touches the buzzer, the point's over.
It's over. So, Andy is freaking out, put his mask on, and he's about to go out the net. And I'm like, no, you can't go out on the field right now. Point's not approved yet. Don't do that to us. Like, we need this. Andy stays in. I didn't realize it till later. Freaking Sam the whole time. Being a goofball, they're like, put your mask on. Put your mask on. Like,
no.
Go ahead.
When I peeked around, it was already over his face. I think when he hit and the mask flew off, it came down. And he was just giggling with his eyes. I was like, oh, Sam's fine. So I just turned around and walked away. But you can't put your mask on when you don't have it, but he got it on in due time as soon as he could.
Yeah. But he's like over there, like giving them a hard time, pulling his beanie down over his eyes, like giggling. And it's like, oh, I love some Sam. You never know what you're going to get out of him. He is my favorite. Like, he is just how off the wall he is. What is that movie? Johnny Depp. It's Fear and Loathing. He reminds me a lot of Fear and Loathing. Like, just you don't know what's going to shake down. He's a riot. So,
oh yeah.
He's always makes light of a heavy situation. He'll put a smile on your face quicker than anybody else. So, love some
yes,
Sam.
sir.
Anyways, so yeah, that was the Sam deal. I just thought that was while Sam had me in a panic.
Yeah, I got nervous when I didn't see him bounce up right away, but when I peeked around the back center and I was like, oh, he's laughing, he's fine.
Yeah, he's good. But that's Sam. Like, leave it to Sam to give you a little heart attack. But he's over there goofing off.
Oh yeah.
What else, man? What else?
I think that's a pretty good recap. Yeah. I think of that, and then save some of the other juice, some of our ideas for,
Dude,
some one-off shows, and we have some good ideas. So we'll start sharing those. We'll start trickling those out. But I thought that was a good recap, and we'll have another guest on here shortly, and I like it.
So hopefully next week. I don't know how down and out I'll be next week. I would like to get something if I feel up to it. Fingers crossed.
And if we have time before that happens to get one to put out during that time, we'll do that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I can't walk for 48 hours.
Oh yeah.
He told me today at the pre-op. So
I mean that does not surprise me,
No, but he was confident. I was probably more nervous than I had been in a while about a surgery. I think
it's real. And it's like those ones, it's like most of the other surgeries you get, it's like, no, this has to happen right now. Like, choosing this and you know it's going to be for the better. But yeah, of course, the sooner it gets more nervous. But
Well, and what's funny is
then
like
it's going to be just such a relief when it's done.
I
just
just
like
hope it
that.
all. Yeah, I hope it's all. I hope they can get it all out. That's what
I hope so too. I hope
Yeah.
so too.
So, but he was confident today. He was pretty chill about it. So
And I hope all my metal never has to come out.
I'm ready for this to come out.
No, I
9
no, I
pieces,
get it
man.
in the legs.
Like,
In the
mhm.
John stuff would scare me to get it out. You know, I just don't want to
Yeah.
anything to mess around with up here again.
Probably don't need to.
No,
Probably
no. Unless your body
it started-
rejects it, because your body can reject metals after
Oh,
some
yeah.
time. You hope that they don't, but they definitely can.
Yeah, I feel like mine's getting there. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, that'll be Thursday, probably Thursday morning. I requested first in. I'm like, give me in, give me out.
Oh yeah.
I want to, because I'm going to be mad not being able to have any coffee. So it's like,
What kind of time frame did they have you for being under for it? I know it will vary, but I didn't know if they
hour and a half.
Well, that's not as bad as I thought.
No, it's not terrible. It might be. I would, to be honest, as long as it's been in there, because that calcium has grown over it and stuff. It's like it might take a couple hours.
But at the same time, I mean, that's got to be built in that they know how long it's been in there too. So if they're giving you the hour and a half, yeah, it could be more. But like they had to build in that into those estimates.
Yeah, and they think. Go ahead.
I was just to say, just with the anesthesiology alone, they have to have a pretty good idea of how long they want to have you out for.
Yeah. So yeah, probably like an hour and a half is what it's going to be, maybe 2. But you know, he's gonna. I mean, these guys are some of the best surgeons in the U.S. over at the Stedman. So I'm ready. But I just want to get. I'm like, I want to be out so I can, because I'm gonna be there. He's like, if we get you in at 7, then you'll probably be here till 11. You probably leave around 11:30. And I'm like,
oh wow.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I just want to get out of there so I can have some coffee and food. That's all I want. Last time I had surgery, I had hernia surgery, and that was like 2 or 3 Septembers ago. And I wake up. This is the first surgery my wife has ever been through with me. And I come out, and she's like, "Hey," she's like, "How are you?" And I was like, she goes, "You want some crackers, some water?" I was like, "Coffee."
Yeah,
it's like coffee. She goes, "Coffee," and I'm like, as soon as I pee, and these were my first words. I was like, as soon as you pee, I was like, I get to leave. I was like, coffee, lots of it.
It's funny. Every time I've ever been put under for surgeries, like I wake up starving,
dude. I'm dying.
Pizza. Like even like a surgery as little as like when I got my wisdom teeth out when I was getting like I was like, I'm hungry. They're like, oh, you shouldn't eat anything. I was like, I want like pizza now. Like I need something. But like anytime I've ever been up from elbow, jaw, anything, I just wake up and I want like as much food as I can get.
Oh, dude, it's like, feed me now. Don't come with crackers. You come correct. Bring me
dry crackers. That's like the last thing I want.
I haven't had anything since 9 p.m. last night to drink. So don't bring me any crackers into this mix.
And I need to sleep with like 4 water bottles beside me. I drink a lot.
Dude,
so
I know
when I can't drink for that, 12, 14 hours before, it's brutal.
Like I'll literally, because tonight I had to stop taking supplements because
my mouth was getting dry just thinking about it.
Thinking about it, I know I need some water. Like, but no, reality. What's crazy is like today I had to stop all supplements. Yeah, because supplements can mess with your anesthesiologist's work.
Oh yeah.
And so, anyways, I had to put all those away so I don't accidentally take them. And then like the night before, I'm just gonna have to. I don't even get to take trazodone. They're making me stop taking my trazodone. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep like dog water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this sucks. So I'm just going to have to.
Probably more than anything, sleep things with anesthesiology. It has to be.
Do what?
I was saying that makes sense with the anesthesia, I would think.
They weren't even that worried about it.
Oh, really?
They were just like, yeah, the night of, don't take it. I can take it until then.
That's not too bad.
No, I'm gonna have to try and do some meditating or something. You know me. I'm not a meditator.
No.
But yeah, so hopefully that goes well. Anybody listening that's a praying person, I'll take any prayers. May 15th in the morning, about 7 a.m. Colorado time, so Mountain Standard. If you want to pop off a prayer for me, I'll take it. But
They can be a little early too.
early is good. Early's fine too. Just even late, if you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
forgot to show up, like, hey, just let them ride.
Yeah,
But
not gonna hurt.
yeah, but no, I'm ready
For sure.
But
I'm excited for you. I know you've been wanting this for a long time. So
yeah, I'm ready to be back to my fit former self.
Yeah.
This has really put a big dampener on that. So, but anyways, well, enough about the rambling. Late your time. Let's get you to bed, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We still haven't gotten her up on Apple iTunes. Working on that, but they're a pain in the butt to kind of try and get that up with. So, but as always, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, even Podbean, where we do our who does our distribution. You can listen to them for free on there.
And please follow us on Instagram as well. We're going to be starting to put up more shorts.
Yeah, please, just take a little second out of your time if you listen to this. Please give us a follow on Instagram. We'd really appreciate it. Don't forget, we also have a Discord up. We have a young content creator that's going in there, and he plays a lot of rec ball. He posts some videos. Go support him because he's in there trying as well. I now learned the struggle of content creation after taking over the media for Heat and doing this. So I appreciate when I see someone smash a follow button or hit the like button. It means the world. Yeah, as always, just hope you all have a blessed week. Thank you all for being here with us. Thank you for all your support, and we're excited to catch you in the next one. So,
yes, sir.
All right. Well, y'all have a great night, and we will see you in the next one.